You know the ones. You see that shiny, heavy metal card and you think, yeah, paying a $695 annual fee is a smart move for all those free flights and exclusive perks. But what if that card is actually designed to be a trap? Well, in this explainer, we're opening the case file on premium credit cards to expose exactly how they're built to make you lose.
Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it. This number you're looking at, 20%, this is everything. See, this isn't just a credit card, it's a bet. The bank is literally betting that the psychological tricks baked into this little piece of metal will get you to spend 20% more month after month. And you know what? For most people, the bank wins that bet.
So, if we're going to understand the trap, we first have to understand the bait. Let's start our little audit here by looking at all those shiny perks that make these cards seem so irresistible in the first place. I mean, here they are. These are the big headlines plastered all over the ads, right? Free flights, exclusive lounge access, huge bonus points. They even give you a heavy metal card that makes you feel important when you slap it down. It all makes paying that crazy high annual fee feel like a savvy investment, a life hack for the sophisticated traveler. But that brings up a really critical question. What if those perks aren't even the product? What if you are? The whole thing is a carefully engineered environment. So now we're going to x-ray that trap to see exactly how it works. And that brings us to the psychological engine that's really driving your spending, because this isn't really about finance. Nope. It's about turning your money into a game where the rules are written by the house for the house. And here it is. This is the core of the whole game. Every single time you see that 5x points earned notification pop up, your brain gets a tiny little hit of dopamine. It's a chemical reward. It feels good. It feels like you're winning. And just like any other game, that feeling makes you want to do it again and again. You stop following your budget and you start chasing the points. This chart just brilliantly illustrates what happens in the real world because of that dopamine loop. Just look at it. The small bar, that's the actual real-world value of the points you earned. But that giant bar next to it, that's the extra money people are spending just to chase that feeling of winning. You actually end up spending hundreds of extra dollars just to get $50 back in free rewards. It's wild. Okay, so we've exposed the psychology. Now let's get down to the cold, hard numbers. It's time to put everything on the balance scale and weigh the real costs against those so-called benefits. And here it is, all laid out. On one side of the scale, you've got all the sexy perks. But on the other side, you've got the heavy real-world costs, that massive annual fee, the overspending they trick you into, and the huge risk of high interest rates. The whole scale is intentionally designed to tip in the bank's favor. Let's start with the most obvious cost, right? Before you earn a single point or book a single flight, you are already hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the hole. This is the price of admission to their game, and you have to spend thousands just to break even on this fee alone. And there's that number again. This is the hidden cost. It's the direct result of that dopamine loop we were just talking about. An extra 20% on top of your spending isn't just a rounding error. It's a budget-destroying habit that's quietly draining your bank account month after month. Okay, now for what is probably the most critical piece of evidence in this whole audit. There is one single number buried deep in the terms and conditions that's basically the bank's ultimate trump card. It's the one thing that can make every single reward you've ever earned completely worthless. And there it is, nearly 30% APR, the annual percentage rate. That is an astronomically high interest rate. See, the banks are happy to offer you 5% back in rewards because they know that if you slip up just once, they can hammer you with a 30% penalty on your unpaid balance. It is a calculated risk. And believe me, the odds are overwhelmingly in their favor. So this is the crucial point. The entire rewards game is completely null and void the second you carry a balance. The interest charges from just 1 month will cost you more than all the points you painstakingly collected over a whole year. If you carry a balance, you've lost. End of story. So after going through all the evidence in this file, we've reached a verdict. But more importantly, we figured out the single strategy you need to protect yourself and actually turn the tables on this entire system. Right. This is the key question. We've seen the trap, we've seen the psychology, we've seen the fine print. So how in the world do you navigate this minefield and make sure you're the one who comes out on top? Well, the answer is actually beautifully simple. This is it. This is the one rule. It's the single mathematical and behavioral rule you absolutely have to follow. You have to break that dopamine loop, use the card for your normal budgeted spending, and that is it. The second you justify buying something by saying, "Oh, but I'll get the points," you've already fallen into the trap.
So let's just summarize our final verdict into 3 crystal clear steps. First, just ignore the points game. Forget about it. Don't chase them. Your real goal is step 2. Always, and I mean always, pay your balance in full every single month to avoid that 30% APR trap. And finally, step 3. You have to reframe how you think about rewards. They're not a goal, they're just a random, occasional bonus for spending you were going to do anyway.
And with that, the case file is closed. We've laid out all the evidence, the psychology, and the one winning strategy. So that leaves you with one final question to think about. Take a look at your own wallet, think about your own spending habits, and really ask yourself, are your rewards truly free? Or have you been paying for them in ways you never even realized?